Hey everybody, so we went to go and see the film Red One with the family on Friday, and I thought whilst we're out for a bit of a walk, you can see my husband's there just behind me, we thought that we would tell you what our thoughts were on that particular film and do our review whilst we're out for a nice walk. We're down at Leonardsley again, which is gorgeous this time of year, so we'll see if we can show you some bits and pieces as we go around as well. So Red One, Christmas film, of course it's a Christmas film, and it has Dwayne Johnson, has Chris Evans and J.K. Simmons as your leads. It's 12A, and it's kind of, the premise is that Father Christmas is kidnapped. I should just say there are some spoiler alerts in this, so you know, if you don't want to have any spoilers, then probably now is the time to turn off. So kind of we went to this thinking that it would be a bit of an adventure kind of film. I guess you kind of come to expect a kind of Jumanji-ish feel when it's something that's Dwayne Johnson. He does a lot of, you know, action movies. I was kind of going because he was in it. I like his films. I wasn't really going because of Chris Evans, because he's not one of my favourite. I'm not going to lie. I like him in Fantastic Four. I don't really like him as Captain America. I know, controversial. It is very controversial, but I'm just not a massive fan. I'm not a massive fan of Captain America as a character anyway. I think he's quite flawed, but my husband's smiling here. So your thoughts on Chris Evans?
In the movie?
No, just in general.
Oh, in general. I like Chris Evans. He's good. I think you're being judgmental on his character in the movies rather than him as an actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Anyway, so we went to go and see it. Like I said, it promises to be like an action kind of movie, but I think both of us agreed that it was just a real mixture, wasn't it? It didn't really...
He was trying to do too many things.
Yeah.
He was trying to be action, fantasy, Christmas,
and everything
nice.
All in one, and it just didn't really work. You know, the flawed character that kind of sees the light at the end and sees the errors of his ways and wants to change things, but at the same time trying to have trolls and gnomes and everything, and then also trying to be a kind of Die Hard with a Vengeance kind of movie.
It was a very busy narrative.
It was, and it felt sometimes that they had to try and get the point across too quickly. It was almost like, oh, we need to explain this, let's get in a line about that, and oh, we need to explain this, and let's get a line in about this. So I think it either needed to try and be a 12A action film, or it needed to be something that was more... Okay, so the general premise of the film is that you've got Dwayne Johnson is the commander-in-chief to Father Christmas, and you know, your Father Christmas isn't your typical Father Christmas. He's very much muscles and quite cool, which is why I think it doesn't quite fit with the fantasy genre bit that's going on with it as well. So, but so Red One, Father Christmas, he is kidnapped, and so Dwayne Johnson, who has become fairly disillusioned with his role, has to find Red One. Yep. He's already handed in his resignation, so you kind of know where the movie's going to go. You know that he's going to be happy at the end of it and kind of want to carry on with what he's doing.
It's an easily signposted movie, but you'd expect that from that kind of film. That's okay.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to expect. You know that Father Christmas is going to be saved, because it'd be a pretty sad movie if he wasn't, really.
Nothing wrong with a dark ending, though.
No, I know, but that's where I think maybe there was the issue with this movie, with it being a 12A. They should have either gone for a darker ending, or it should have been Happy Clappy Fantasy. I don't know. Or maybe, you know, a bit more like Honor Amongst Thieves or Jumanji, that kind of thing. Anyway, anyway. So you then got Chris Evans' character, who is also extremely disillusioned with Christmas and is a bit of your thief, who's kind of getting everything wrong.
His was kind of quite a cliche character, I think.
Yeah,
To be fair,
I
but-
think you're right. I think they're all pretty
yeah.
cliched in a lot of ways. And then you had Lucy Liu as well, who was kind of helping to run the kind of whole elf thing.
Do you remember what they were called?
No, I've got the memory of a goldfish. They were the mystical something unit.
Something like Mora.
Yeah, something saving the mythical world, that kind of thing. And then you had elf that stood for something else. But it was really difficult to get behind the idea of Dwayne Johnson as an elf.
Yeah, it didn't quite land, did it?
No, it didn't. It really didn't quite work, that one.
Put your ears on, Dwayne.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is where it was all getting a little bit confusing. And then obviously you've got Chris and Dwayne had to work together. Their characters had to work together to save Red One. The son comes along, and Chris Evans has to save his son and realises the errors of his ways. And that's kind of it in a bit of a snapshot. And along the way, they meet the Christmas witch, and they meet, I want to say Kranakin, but that's actually that's a dessert, so it's not
Grampus.
Grampus. That's it. See, this is why Neil's in the video with me today, because I really do have a memory of a sieve with names.
He's the brother of Santa.
Yeah, he's the brother of Santa. What he
They
said.
don't look alike though.
They really don't look alike at all. But then Santa doesn't really particularly look like Santa. So anyway, we digress. So yeah, you've got this mystical fantasy action kind of thing. It just doesn't really gel that well together. Now, in fairness, Dwayne Johnson, who I was really wanting to go and see, because I mean, why wouldn't you want to go and see Dwayne Johnson? Just saying. I didn't actually really like him in the role. I was expecting him to have a little bit more humour in his role. I think he was trying to take the role of an elf a little bit too seriously. It just didn't quite work. Oh, sorry, spider in my hair.
Was he marking it, do you think, as a movie? Here's a question.
Yeah.
As in, was it just a little bit, not lazy, but that's a bit harsh,
I actually
but do you know what I mean?
I don't necessarily know that it was...
And I don't mean that, but what I'm trying to say is, was it just a bit checkbox?
I
Tick-boxy kind of
think he was
performance?
actually trying to be a bit too serious about the role. I think he was trying to give the commander-in-chief a little bit too much gravitas, and this person who was going through a life crisis, and they had to... I do, but no.
It wasn't his most standout.
It wasn't. Tooth Fairy actually was much better in this role. That classic movie. I like Tooth Fairy. Anyway, now, however, Chris Evans, I'm going to take it back what I said. I really liked him in this role. I think that he did really well, and I think it suited him.
That's because he was playing a bad boy.
Well, it was.
That's my theory,
It was,
anyway.
and like I said, maybe it's because I don't actually like the character of Captain America, rather than per se.
Well, he's not
Chris
a bad
Evans.
boy, but you don't like the way Captain America behaves.
No,
That's the difference.
I think Captain America's a bit selfish, but that's just my viewpoint.
That's a whole nother
Anyway, that's a whole other discussion. So yeah, I liked Chris Evans, wasn't so keen on Dwayne Johnson. Lucy Liu, again, when you've seen her in something like Charlie's Angels and stuff like that, the casting didn't
Her
necessarily
voice sounded
work.
very unusual.
Sounded very husky.
Sounded like she was on 20 a day.
Yeah, it really did.
really was.
Very husky. And like I said, J.K. Simmons, I do quite like the idea of a Father Christmas who has to be really
after
fit
himself,
and looks
yeah.
after himself and very active and not. But that's not really the stereotypical image you'd expect in a.
That's okay.
It's
That's
okay. And actually, when you look at Kurt Russell,
I'm kind of cool with that.
when you look at Kurt Russell in Chronicles, Christmas Chronicles,
Yeah.
not Chronicles of Narnia, that he's not fat and overweight, is he? No. He actually looks after
okay.
himself as well.
I think that's
so
all right.
it was, but it didn't then fit in with your gnomes and your trolls and your talking polar bears, and because we haven't even got that far yet.
It kind of it was like a mashup between Narnia and Harry Potter kind of stuff.
Yeah,
going
with
on.
a few almost horror moments came in, that when the snowmen came into it,
Yeah.
they were a bit vicious, not going to lie. They weren't soft and fluffy. So, yeah, it was fun to go and see. Did it leave me with that warm Christmassy feeling? No. I think they should have brought the child in much sooner and actually it's the child that's helping to teach them about Christmas. I think that might have helped it, and I think maybe if they'd stuck with an adventure feel along the lines of Honor Amongst Thieves and Jumanji, I think it might have worked
I think that's
slightly
fair.
better.
I don't know whether you needed the child to teach him. I think actually park that and leave that out, and for it to be what it was intended
To be, an action
an
movie.
action Christmas movie.
Yeah, I just think they were trying to do too many things. It didn't gel. It didn't quite work for me.
Yep.
I think the 12A certificate was absolutely right. You know, there were sort of moments in it. There was sort of language and stuff that was used in it that I mean, it was very funny. But yeah, so I think 12A was right for it. Would I rush to go and see it again? No. Is it something I'd watch if it was on TV? Yes, probably. But would
just
I?
A Christmas film.
I know,
You'd watch
yeah.
anything.
I'd watch any Christmas film, several times over, in fact. But so yeah, I think if I was going to mark it out of 5, do you know, I want to say 3 because it's Dwayne Johnson and it's Chris Evans.
I've got a mark
but
in my head.
I'm almost going for kind of like 2.5.
That's what I was going to go for, 2.5.
That's why we're married to each other.
Yeah, I think so.
It wasn't the best. And as a result, I think I am going to go home and watch Miracle in Manhattan with Mrs. Miracle, because why would you not watch that film, or It's a Wonderful Life, which I've just put on my watch list. So yeah, if you enjoyed this review, go and look at some of my other reviews. We're going to go and carry on with our walk around Bennersley Gardens. Beautiful autumn colours at the moment. In fact, I will just turn the camera around so you can see the gorgeous lake that is behind us. And this is why we love coming here at different times of the year. But for now, we will say goodbye to you. And we've got more reviews coming up. I'm going to do some reviews on Christmas films, because why wouldn't you at this time of year? And because I watch them nearly every single day. So I'll put some of my favourites and do a review for you there. But from us, we hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.